think that's one of the first things I brought up with my wife is that I feel bad for that young girl. I'm not here to get anybody in trouble or hurt anybody's feelings. And I think the main thing is that I probably just, if she was willing, I'd reach out and give her a big hug and tell her I'll be fine. And I hope that she can recover just as well as I can from this emotionally.
I hear you've already declared that you're not leaving her in a wheelchair.
Oh, that's definitely not happening. They're gonna have to fight me on that one, because I know their little policies about at least getting through the door. I said, yeah, you're gonna have to fight me on that one. It's not gonna happen.
Oh my goodness.
Yeah, it's not gonna happen.
Okay, Chappie Hunter suffered multiple injuries and lost his leg below the knee after a horrific accident. And with all his hard work and devotion, he's here now to share his story. We're back with Chappie Hunter on the show. And where we left off, we wanted to know, or I wanted to know, what is it really like for you? Because you always have a smile, everything's always great, and you're always pushing yourself, and you're jumping hurdles, you're just that guy. But clearly, there's pain. Clearly, there's these struggles, this undercurrent that you have to deal with. And tell us what that is. Describe to us what that is.
Well, you know, pain-wise, in actuality, just mostly because of medication, I didn't really have a lot of physical pain for the injury itself. But the one major thing that I have, along with every other amputee has, is something called phantom pain. And phantom pain is where you still feel your limb that is missing. So, like right now, I can feel that I still have a foot, I can feel my toes, I can feel everything, but it feels like it's kind of in a shoe that's one size too small. And so it's more of an uncomfortable feeling rather than an actual pain. And then what's happening is the nerves that were cut off down there are now trying to regrow. And they're regrowing to nowhere. And then eventually they'll bunch up and they'll die off, but that takes a long time. And the prosthetic, when you start walking, is the best medicine for that. The prosthetic—
Because then the nerve feels the prosthetic.
Yes,
Yeah.
When I actually walk, I don't have phantom pain. When I put this on, I don't have the phantom pain, but the minute I take it off, then yes, I do. And then when I lay down at night before bed, and there's nothing else going on, then that's when my brain starts sending shock waves down, and I get some shocks in my leg that are not necessarily painful, they're just really cumbersome and uncomfortable.
Is that the worst thing, in your opinion, what you're dealing with is those phantom pains?
Absolutely. I mean, that is, I mean, it's hard on the sleep pattern. You know, it doesn't always allow me to fall asleep on time, and it makes it difficult for me to stay in one place and to sit for too long of a time, which is why I haven't, at this specific time, been able to go right back into work, light duty, and sit at a desk and do paperwork or whatever, because I need to be able to move my leg around or put it up or sometimes ice it or whatever to help heal it. And,
you know, I've heard that the prosthetic could be uncomfortable. It takes a while for your body to get used to that. Well, it's tender, right?
There's so many different stages to the prosthetic. So this is the first stage, and so underneath here is a very thick, hard plastic socket. And that is, there's a small silicone sleeve that goes over my leg that goes into the socket itself. And it fits nicely, but it's not like I'm walking on the bottom of the stump area. It actually sucks all around my leg, and then therefore I'm walking on the entire leg itself. And you kind of compare that to whether or not you step on one nail as opposed to stepping on 1,000 nails where you can actually walk on it. It's the same thing with this. And then eventually, from the plastic one itself, you then upgrade to a carbon fiber, nice, thin, semi-flexible socket that I am dying to get to.
Why do they have to start you out on the plastic that's more uncomfortable?
The plastic one, because what he can do is it's actually clear. So when I take this sleeve off here, he can see my leg and he can see where the pressure points are through that. Then he can take the plastic one and they can actually, right there on site, they can heat it up, melt it, and form it to where it is to make it fit perfectly. And then once we have that perfect fit, then they can go and make my permanent socket.
They use that as a mold, I guess.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
Absolutely.
Awesome.
So it's a learning process. It's been a learning process for me the whole time, and it's been very interesting.
And there's medicine for these phantom pains. I understand that sometimes it works, sometimes it doesn't. Have you tried that?
Yes, there is medicine for the phantom pain. It is a non-addictive medicine as well, but I tried it, and then I didn't know whether it was having an effect on me or not, so I stopped taking it, and there was no change in the feelings. So I just completely off medication altogether. About 2 months after the accident, I stopped all medication.
So time. And I've heard it either goes away or it's just something people have to deal with.
Yeah, some people will deal with it for the rest of their life, but on and off. I really think that based upon what I've had so far, I think that my phantom pain will eventually go away.
All right, so we're going to switch back over to you 8 days later, working out, and we have those pictures. How were you able to do that? I don't get it.
Well, my leg, I was able to keep protected with a small sheath, and then just the stuff was out there. But then I was able to do, obviously nothing on my leg, but to try and stay strong, to try and keep myself motivated to go, then I would do little things, whether they were push-ups or something small that didn't affect my leg in any way whatsoever. And then it was 21 days exactly after the accident that I did my first full CrossFit workout. And I actually, you know, for purposes of motivation and purposes of pushing people, I actually videotaped that. And I put it on YouTube to music, and I wanted to show people that, you know what, if I can do this 21 days after, then, you know, you
What's
can
your
do.
excuse?
Yeah.
What's your excuse?
You know,
and did you
what can
ever get frustrated? I mean, were there ever moments? I mean, this guy smiles all the time with his great dimples.
Thank you.
Were there ever moments of, oh, I want to do this and I can't do this and it's going to take time?
Absolutely. Just walking. I mean, you never realize how much you miss the simple things of just walking. I want to run. I want to run, and I feel like the whole Forrest Gump thing, that once I get able to run, I'm just gonna run to the other end of the nation. Like I just want to get back to doing that again.
Look out, wife.
I do. I just
your poor wife. She's gonna be like, oh, Chappie, slow it down.
But the simple things. I mean, let's just taking a shower, for instance. I mean, I can't wear this in, so I have to be able to hop to do things. So my other leg has become extremely strong to take over from, you know, not being able to put
bearing the weight and
on here. So
Okay, so this is where you are now. You just finished that triathlon. You're killing it. What are your goals for the future? Your goals and some of your projections.
I absolutely am dying to get back to work. I miss my job. I miss doing what I do. I'm hoping by November, December to be able to go back on light duty. And then my goal is to the date of the accident, 1 year from the date of the accident in June, either June or July, to be able to go back full duty. So I don't see any reason why that with the way that they make prosthetics these days, that I can't be back chasing the bad guys and doing what I love. And that's my main goal. And other than that, just continue on with the hard work in CrossFit and getting better and stronger and bringing people along with me down that route.
You know, going back to your attitude, I look at your history with the police department, and you have to deal with some pretty tough situations.
Sure.
And you've seen a lot.
Sure.
How do you keep that attitude, and do you pass that on to the people that you're around?
Oh,
I mean, and you lift up your arm and you can see the scars from the accident. Well, I just want people to know you've been through a lot and you've got the best attitude. Everybody needs to emulate this person.
Thank you.
So back then, this was even before the accident. Did you bring that to the table, like with victims or even criminals, you know?
You know, my whole thing is about life in general, is to keep that positive attitude, keep smiling, because I'm always, you know, just like my parents raised me, you know, you treat someone as good as you can, they're going to treat you back even, you know, just as good. And that's the way that happens with work, even on patrol. You know, if I'm not nice, they're not going to be nice. So I try my best to project a very positive attitude, to give that to everybody so that they will in turn give me the same respect in return. And then that just builds friendships, and it builds you know, the courage for victims to come forward and talk to someone that
they need someone. I wish all the police officers need to have your attitude, because if you are a victim and you need help, you want someone like you.
There are a lot of
police officers. It could take a very
like
bad. There is.
You.
You're right. There is. You're right.
Thank you.
But it would be nice if everyone was like that, because you need that comfort, and it makes a bad situation get a little better. But going back to the triathlon you ran on Sunday, that was all about the Challenge athletes. I want you to talk about how they've helped you, how it's a sort of a symbiotic type of association.
Absolutely. Challenge athlete, literally 2 days after my accident, there's a representative from the Challenge Athletes Foundation that came to the hospital to speak with me. And honest to God, I'd really, besides some media bites, I'd really not known what Challenge Athletes was, but now I know. And they are a dedicated group of individuals who go to people that have lost some sort of limb or they have some sort of ailment in their life, that and they want you to get you back walking. They want to get you back running. They want you to get back participating in the athletics that you were doing before. And what they did for me is not only inspire me to be able to see the other challenged athletes and how far they've come to see what I can potentially do in the future, but they also gave me the opportunity to apply for a grant, which got approved for them to give me my first running blade prosthetic, which will be coming down the line in a couple months, I hope. And I'm so excited about that. And because insurance-wise, I am only provided the one prosthetic. From then on out, it's on me.
How much are those?
For a below-the-knee amputee, you're looking at anywhere from $16,000 to $25,000 for a leg.
Oh my gosh!
And so they are not cheap, and they don't last forever. You know, this prosthetic may last me maybe 3 or 4 years, and then the athletic one, the blade ones, they last anywhere from a year to 3 years, depending on how hard you are.
Like a pair of running shoes. Coming up.
Exactly. So I've had the tremendous support of my department, my friends, my family that have come together to do fundraisers for me, and they've raised a tremendous amount of money to be able to give me that I've put away that I can use later on to help me buy those prosthetics.
So cool. That's why people need to be involved with Challenge Athletes for
I agree.
many, many reasons, and that was a good one.
I agree.
But thank you so much for coming on this show. The next time I see you, I'll be training with you.
Okay.
Yikes, I'm
Let's
a
do
little
it.
scared.
Let's do it. Let's do it.
But look at, if you could get out there, work out 8 days after your horrible accident that severed your leg and much more, nobody's got an excuse.
That's what I want.
Exercise, take care of yourself,
That's the
have a
attitude I
great quality of life.
Thank you.
Thank you so much for
Thank
coming
you
on
so
this
much.
show. Thank you, that was awesome.